They think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who wants to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. It's a Sunday evening. Wanted to have a little boxing talk. And I've been just, analyzing the game as usual. Chiming in when I can. Trying to have dialogue about the sport. And where it's going. Trying to keep tabs on what's happening, man. And the biggest push right now is around Big Turk. Who's your daddy? Suga Al-Sheik, man. It's so crazy, man, because the only thing I can compare the relationship that he has with the game is that he's like everybody refers to him like a bona fide sugar daddy. And I've been sitting around waiting, trying to figure out, if I'm just being too harsh and looking at everything. Because I actually like some of the things, right? And we're going to point some of those things out. Because this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. So you will walk away with something. It will have some nutritional value to it. But what I'm seeing and hearing, man, everything equates to this man being a sugar daddy, because everybody always saying, oh, well, Big Turk got the money. He just want to see he just going to get us, he trying to get the biggest fights. And we're like, okay, cool. Well, what are the biggest fights? And a sidebar is what I'm hearing. This is what the narrative is. He's trying to get us the biggest fights. But it's going to be the fights that he liked, the ones that he deemed to be big. I think we've seen glimpses of this, like when you get around somebody, I guess, you get around certain people and they got a certain level or a certain amount of money, and it's almost like they think that everything that they see and they grasp, they can have. And we've seen examples of this in the past, like when it came down to Jay-Z and Diddy, that time when they were trying to buy the Carolina Panthers. Now, combined, probably alone they could have did it, but combined they were trying to do it, and they had all the money in the world. But for some odd, strange reason, they wasn't able to get that franchise. And maybe with all the things that happened here recently, maybe it was a reason. But I'm just trying to highlight that sometimes, man, when you're looking at something and you thinking that money is the cure-all, or that you could just sprinkle it on, it's gonna make everything better. Yeah, it helps out a lot. You know, you need it. You need some kind of currency or something to be able to exchange goods, to get services, to maintain, to float. But I can't help but describe the way I be hearing everybody talk about Turkey. Is almost like a sugar daddy, man, like a rich unk, like an unk with big pockets. You know what I'm saying? That you could just, hey, unk, I want this. Okay, how much is it? That's really all I really see surrounding it. And I've been watching and analyzing because it's been a rollout now, but the biggest, like, you can probably start earmarking around 2023 and the 5 events that took place. We're gonna look at that. But I want to talk about some of the things surrounding the conversation about him and what he was bringing to the game. Because, you know, just like I try to do my homework on everything and try to not, because it's kind of hard, man, when you just hear people talk about him all day. You hear common people who don't even, like, they don't read about him. They don't watch videos in particular about him, but they talk about him like they know him also well. I'm like, damn, you got Sheik number? Like, let me get Sheik number. Let me holler at him real quick. Cause you got a lot of information, man, for somebody that be doing the same thing I be doing on the couch. I just take time to try to look up and see. And so when he started coming on the scene, you know, I wasn't just gonna start jacking it and being a beacon for, you know, this and this and that. I thought that, like everybody else, it sound good. But in the background, you know, I always be doing my homework, keeping my tabs, writing my notes, trying to see how it fits into the big picture. Like, you know, because, you know, boxing, man, the conversation around boxing, what actually happens in the ring around boxing, and how we come to getting the type of fights that we actually are able to see are 3 different things. Totally different things, man. But I see that people are more and more, they're starting to talk about the politics of boxing, the politics of boxing. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's a conversation to be had. My thing is this, man. Let's be practical about it. Not get into the curriculum. We'll look at what Sheik been doing, but definition. A well-to-do, usually older man who supports or spends lavishly on a mistress, girlfriend or boyfriend. A generous benefactor of a cause or undertaking. A generous benefactor of a cause or undertaking. An angel, a donor, a patron, a benefactor, a fairy godmother, a donator, Maecenas. Example, she's on the lookout for a new sugar daddy. The only reason the town has any Independence Day fireworks in the first place is because the internet tycoon has wittingly become the event's de facto sugar daddy. The only reason why boxing is growing is because Big Turkey Bag Sheik Big Turkey Bag Sheik, man, giving us good boxing, man. He putting on big fights, man. That's the only reason why. But the only reason why the town has Independence Day fireworks in the first place is because Big Turkey Sheik, the internet tycoon who has become the event's de facto sugar daddy, new promoter. With no sugar daddy willing to lend money to countries that have lost the market's faith, there may be no alternative to austerity as the financial sugar daddy of research overseas that created COVID. American and Canadians with a history of sugar dating perceive sugar babies as having more power than their sugar daddies, mamas, and non-binary benefactors. That was pretty interesting. I was like, man, that's what I'm calling. That's what I'm actually seeing, man. Everybody that's echoing this, Big Turkey is the answer. Big Turkey got the bag. Got sugar babies, man. Sugar babies, man. Looking for a sugar daddy, man. You know it's a lot of risk, man, and you know that daddy gonna want some sugar. You know what I'm saying? Sooner or later, daddy gonna want some of that sugar. You had to hold some hands and prance down to the stage, and I don't know, man, kiss the ring. I'm not sure what kind of rituals or what comes along with it, but I know it's a bag to be had, and it's looking like a lot of people are putting on their track shoes real fast. Now, this most recent instance here with Shakur, going over there to the zone, man, it's only pretty much backed by the fact that the second fight is going to be, with Zepeda, in which they're saying that Turkey might be able to fund the money to be able to get that second fight. But you got to think about it. It's a fight in the bag for Cordina. The second fight is supposed to be Zepeda, but that's not a given, because he worked with Oscar De La Hoya, but it's cinched down with the possibility that if it can't be hashed out between Eddie and Oscar, Big Turkey Bag can intervene and sprinkle something on it and get it across the finish line. Man, that's a mighty big sell, man. And yet that's another thing that we're getting credit for, but we have no proof that it's actually going to happen. Why? Because that's not etched in stone right now. That's not etched in stone. One of them is, the other one is not. But that's the illusion right now, what's going on behind this concept of Turkey. But let's look at it on a different level. Let's look at some of the things. One of the things that I was kind of interested in, because a lot of times when it comes down to the PEDs and stuff like that, like PED use in the sport and all that, depending on which boxer somebody's talking about, will be dependent upon whether or not somebody really want to stay on that conversation of PEDs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to share this. So this is The Guardian. And this is an article that was written back in May, right? And this is one of the things that kind of sparked my interest. But again, you can't really, it's not my lane to talk about PEDs and all that, but I thought this was interesting. It says this article is more than 3 months old. Boxing has a drug problem. Saudi Arabia's Turki Al-Sheikh can make fixing it his legacy. This is by Thomas Hauser. There are two main stumbling blocks to ridding boxing of PEDs: motivation and cost. Saudi Arabian power broker Turki Al-Sheikh is uniquely situated to surmount these obstacles. And Turki Al-Sheikh, he's the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority. Watches in March a March boxing card alongside Portuguese football manager Jose Mourinho at Riyadh Kingdom area. So that's Big Turkey doing his thing. It's a matter of record that I've expressed misgivings about the migration of major boxing matches to Saudi Arabia, but I recognize that the kingdom will be a dominant force in boxing for the foreseeable future. In recent years, Saudi Arabia, through its General Entertainment Authority, has hosted an increasing number of high-profile fights. On 18th May, Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk will battle at Kingdom Arena in Riyadh for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. This summer, the GEA will extend its reach to fight cards in Los Angeles and London. Turki al-Sheikh, chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, is the driving force behind Saudi Arabia's expanding influence in boxing. His personal commitment and respect for the sport are well known. I like to see Turki al-Sheikh take the lead in combating the use of illegal performance-enhancing drugs in boxing. Too often in boxing, the integrity of competition is undermined by the use of illegal performance-enhancing drugs. Enforcement of the prohibition against their use is inadequate with today's sophisticated microdosing techniques. Traces of illegal PEDs can vanish from a fighter's system within 24 to 48 hours. Most fighters are rarely tested, and when a fighter does test positive, he often employs high-powered attorneys who undermine the imposition of effective sanctions against him. Fighters who have tested positive for illegal performance-enhancing drugs litigate. They use medical confidentiality as a sword and a shield. Often it's claimed that a fighter has been vindicated and proven innocent of wrongdoings despite rulings that state the opposite. Facts underlying cases are hidden from public view. There has even been talk of fighters evading the consequences of prior positive test results by seeking to fight in Saudi Arabia. Yikes. I'm not an Islamic scholar, but my understanding is that the use of illegal performance-enhancing drugs is a form of cheating that violates the precepts of fair competition that are underscored in the Quran. There are two main stumbling blocks to ridding boxers of illegal performance-enhancing drugs. One, lack of motivation on the part of those in control. And two, the cost of effective drug testing. The General Entertainment Authority is uniquely situated to surmount these obstacles. Virtually every fighter in the world wants to fight under its banner because of the large purses involved. In order to do so, they will obey its rules. And the GEA has the funds to pay for a sophisticated, comprehensive drug testing program. With that in mind, I'd like to make the following proposal. The General Entertainment Authority, in conjunction with the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, should institute a program to test boxers for illegal performance-enhancing drugs. To qualify to fight under the auspices of General Entertainment Authority, a fighter would have to be enrolled in GEA VADA program for at least 6 months prior to the fight. Obviously, the 6-month requirement wouldn't become effective until after the program has been in place for 6 months. But fighters would have to enroll now to be considered for a date within the next 6 months. The program will cost between $500 to $1 million annually. There will be cost saving on the back end of the testing process because if fighter is subjected to testing throughout the year, fewer tests will be necessary as the fight approaches. Here, I should note that VADA testing is already used for some of the General Entertainment Authority's fights, but the testing doesn't begin until after a fight is signed. And PEDs are often most effective when used to build core strength months in advance of a fight. The GEA would pay for the testing, so there would be no charge to fighters. In order for the program to be effective and credible, it should be run by VADA. VADA is the most reliable PED testing entity in boxing. It conducts more thorough testing than any other entity and has the best reporting requirements. There was an 8-year period when the United States Anti-Doping Agency, USADA, administered 1,501 tests for performance-enhancing drugs to 128 professional boxers, but USADA reported only one adverse finding regarding a professional boxer to a governing state athletic commission during that time. And the report came after the website revealed that the fighter in question had tested positive for a banned substance. It's not plausible that USADA administered 1,501 tests to 128 professional boxers and that only one of these tests came back positive. By contrast, during the same time frame, VADA reported a positive test rate of almost 4% using the VADA benchmark. One would have expected that 60 of the 1,501 tests conducted by USADA would have yielded a positive result. After these numbers were made public in an investigative report, USADA stopped testing the professional boxers. Dang. Some promoters like to test with drug-free sport because DFS has protocols that often allow positive test results to be swept under the rug without notification to all parties. So forget about drug-free sport. Now comes the hard part. If Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority puts a serious PED testing program in place, it's inevitable that positive test results will be reported. When that happens, the GA has to be resolute. This means no sweeping positive test results under the rug, no bowing to phony analytical studies by experts who have been bought and paid for by fighters who tested positive. It sounded like this was right after that Ryan and Devin situation. The GA can protect the integrity of PED testing processes because it has the financial resources to stand firm against intimidation. If Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority inaugurates this program, it will change boxing for the better in a meaningful way. In Turkey, Al-Sheikh's legacy will become that of a man who, at the highest level, made enormous strides in cleansing boxing of illegal performance-enhancing drugs. That would be a legacy worthy of praise, and I think of no greater gift to boxing. I'm with him on that. So this is one of the things that was proposed for Turkey to go ahead and grab hold of that in the positive testing, because right now, I mean, I don't hear many people talking about it, but when these guys go over there to Riyadh, how they're testing, what they're using, we don't know. We don't know what they're using. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how they're testing. We don't know what methods is going on. So I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, man. And if you do clean it up in that manner, where you not only get the big bag, but then you making sure that everybody is playing, because you're already dealing with a different time zone, and you know, you jet lag and fatigue, and your body getting used to, you know, being in a, foreign place. You know, ask some of these boxers that been over there. Look at some of the results and some of the crazy stuff these boxers have been doing after they get that bag and they come back. But I digress. But that is something that Turkey can put his stamp on, and this is something that would also complement the fact that he is Big Turkey bag. Like, he got the money, but it can be used to more in the benefit of a fighter in the form of testing, and not just in, inflating the salaries. You know what I'm saying? Which is good. They getting that back. We'll get into the fights and all that here in a second. But the main connotation with this is this. Let me go back to this article I was in the other day. And this is the epitome of what I was saying. Let me see. In this article right here, let me go back to this for a second. All right, so this is that article right here when it was talking about the Shakur deal. And as these guys sign and more things happen over there, I mean, we got to stay abreast of what's going on, man. We can't just be letting people just throw us around like rocks and, convince us of things that we have not done our research on. Will Eddie Hearn deliver the fight? So that's the main thing. That's why I'm going here. This is not about Shakur or nothing like that. This is in this article, the most recent article. But this is going to paint the picture for what I'm talking about. Will Eddie Hearn deliver the debater fight? So I went through this article. If you didn't catch that, you can catch that on the live, I think, from last night. But this is the part right here. Delivering the Zapata fight. This is the big part right here. See, it says delivering the Zapata fight. The question is whether Hearn will deliver the Golden Boy promoter Zapata, 31-0, 27 knockouts, because he will need to work with promoter Oscar De La Hoya to make that happen. De La Hoya has complained recently about WBC lightweight champion Shakur, 22-0, 10 knockouts, lacking self-confidence to fight entertainingly to make him a marketable fighter. And that's just Oscar being Oscar. He says stuff like that. Despite not holding the title, Zepeda is more popular fighter than Shakur, and he doesn't need him. It's the other way around. Zepeda is ranked #1 with all the sanctioning bodies at lightweight, and he would make more money fighting WBA regular champion Gervonta Tank Davis. Shakur left top ranked because they couldn't deliver him the big fights. But if Hearn can't do it either, he could end up in the same boat. So this is where it's coming. It's coming to where I'm going as far as Turk. Shakur looks at that Jaron Ennis rollout with Eddie Hearn and says, I want that kind of attention. I wasn't getting that with Top Rank, said boxing expert Chris Algieri to the Pro Box TV YouTube channel about what swayed Shakur Stevenson to sign with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom. Well, history repeat itself. It goes into the boots. I just want to get to the part that it's applicable to what I'm talking about. It says, can he, Hearn, secure the fights that really matter? The fight Top Rank could not, because that was Shakur's main gripe, said Algieri. Can Eddie get him the big fights? Or was Eddie just the guy who talked at the negotiating table to make everyone think they could get the big fights? So it goes over the example of Andre, you know, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse with that because we went over that yesterday. But let me get back. Let me get down here. The 2-fight deal that there is for Shakur with Matchroom. The second fight is with Zepeda, who is with Golden Boy, said Algieri. Eddie and Golden Boy, I don't know how many fights they've made in recent years, but Golden Boy and Bob Arum and Bob and Oscar make fights. Then he goes on to say, this is the part right here. They can do some crossover fights. It's probably easier to make that fight through there. But anytime you have fighters in opposite promotional situations, it's hard to make these fights. Is Eddie the guy that can jump through the lines? Hearn can potentially set up a fight with Zepeda for Shakur if he offers the right deal, but it's not a sure thing. If he tries to broker a deal for Shakur to fight Tank Davis next year, he will have problems. That's not likely happening without Shakur signing with the PBC. This is the point. Crossing lines. To a degree, he is, because now we're talking about Turki Al-Sheikh. And it seems that Eddie has a very tight connection with Turki. And they're having a lot of fights together. So potentially you can get that crossover appeal. Turki can definitely help Hearn get the fight with Zepeda, but probably not Tank Davis if PBC isn't on board. I don't know if Tank is excited about fighting with Shakur, especially if he looks bad against Zepeda and Cordina. So the bailout plan is like, look, he's pointing out the fact that Zepeda is not with Matchroom, but we're under the guise that this is a 2-fight deal. Yeah, it's a 2-fight deal. You know, it's a 2-fight deal. And they're saying that the second one's going to be Zepeda, but that's not a given. But the solution is you're going to put it on Turki, because if Eddie got a problem getting it over the hump, we can holler at Turki. That sounds like a sugar daddy. That means like, well, when I need something, I'm going to come to you and help let you get me across this. That's what it's looking like. That's what I always see and hear. You know what I'm saying? It'd be interesting to get a follow-up about whether or not he's going to try to clean up the sport. But the whole thing right now surrounding Turki is that, oh, when we in trouble, or we need the money, or we got to get something done, or we at a stalemate, call Big Turk. Call Big Turk. That's why I say, who's your daddy? Sugar. That's who it is. Cookie Monster, body work. Koki, salute, body work. Salute Cookie. Cookie salute, blessed Sunday. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'm at the point where I'm like, this is how we perceive them. But I'm doing the numbers. I'm crunching the numbers and I'm looking it up. And I think I did something the other day about keeping the score. The only thing I can really tell you is these are the facts. These are the facts right here. Where is it? Well, I think did I miss one thing? Oh. Yeah, I think I missed this. Yeah, I missed this article. Let me read this. Here's why you're hearing about Turkey. Here's why you're hearing of Turki Al Sheikh's name everywhere in boxing. This is back in July, right? Turki Al Sheikh has become the face of boxing promotion. So they're saying he's the face of boxing promotion. You know, Ricardo Viegan. His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh has become a household name in the world of combat sports. He stands front and center of Saudi Arabia's boxing expansion, making Riyadh season an annual spectacle for the unthinkable. Matchups previously thought impossible have become the norm for him. Matchups that were previously impossible have become the norm for him. That's what they're telling us. He accomplished what he has eluded even the most tenured boxing promoters with relative ease. With no shortage of funds and a keen eye for what appeals to fighters and fight fans, it is no wonder that he has been able to put together the kind of bouts that followers of the sweet science have clamored for. Fans had to wait for years until Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao locked horns. By then, both men were well past their respective primes. However, with Al Sheikh at boxing's helms, fighters are finally fighting each other. Are they? I got him two. I'm giving him two. He got the undisputed Turki Al Sheikh in the last great MMA versus boxing crossover. After Anthony Joshua's earth-shattering knockout of Francis Ngannou, a stoppage preceded by a flawless performance, complete with an abundance of knockdowns. It is hard to imagine anyone would clamor to see more MMA fighters cross over into the boxing ring, but at one point there was. The matchup itself drew a tremendous amount of attention due to the former UFC heavyweight champ's incredible performance against the unbeaten Tyson Fury, who many believe the Predator had done enough to beat. Regardless, both bouts were only made possible by Al Sheikh himself. Because it was kind of true, that was kind of close. You know, some people did have Ngannou winning, but that wouldn't have been in the best interest of the sport, just like Dubois beating Usyk with that body shot stoppage wasn't in the best interest, so he let the fight go on, and we wind up getting the fight. Ngannou had parted ways with UFC, then found a new home in the PFL, who gave him the freedom to pursue boxing, and Al Sheikh wasted no time in securing Ngannou's services for a fight with Fury. Not since Conor McGregor's disastrous clash with Floyd Mayweather Jr. had such a thing happened. This, however, only marked the start of Al Sheikh's all-conquering approach to boxing. He's trying to conquer. Turki Al Sheikh in the future of boxing. One of the things most frequent criticisms is how often top fighters avoid each other, which isn't nearly as prevalent in the UFC or MMA in general. Turki Al Sheikh seeks to change that, having taken a special interest in heavyweight boxing. This weekend, two unbeaten heavyweight champions are set to lock horns. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk will pit their spotless records in the matchup that will crown the undisputed heavyweight boxing king of the world. The winner is expected to face a resurgent Anthony Joshua. This is noteworthy for the simple fact of how long fans have waited for such a fight. Fury is a notoriously stiff negotiator who hasn't faced much elite competition besides Deontay Wilder. While he has been linked to top-level opponents like Joshua and Usyk for years, an official matchup, no matter how many times it was teased, seemed like wishful thinking. However, thanks to Alex Sheik, Tyson versus Fury is real and will take place this Saturday. The winner faces Joshua at the later date. Wilder, meanwhile, will take on fellow power puncher Zhilei Zhang, after which he faces young, undefeated knockout artist Jared Anderson. So at that point in time, everything that this article was saying about Sheik and making the fights and the name that they meant in their name, all of that happened. All of that has taken place. So in a sense, yeah, he has some credibility as far as some things that he's been doing. Yes. We did get undisputed at heavyweight. Yes. We did get the crossover fight with Ngannou and Fury. Yes. We did get the crossover fight with Ngannou and AJ. Yes. Were those fights that we really wanted or asked for? No. Was those fights that we didn't mind seeing? Yes. Yes. So he has credit. I give him credit, for getting us some big fights. He did get us a couple. As far as like this Beterbiev versus Bivol, it hasn't crossed the line yet. Shakur, I mean, he's affiliated with Eddie, but we can't count that deal with Zepeda like it's already concrete, because people are running around talking like that's definitely going to happen. It's like, man, we have no clue that that's actually concrete. But the only fans are actually running around like that's concrete. I'm saying, hold on. Let's look at what we're actually getting. Look at what we're getting. Look at what this latest move has contributed to. We're not getting that. But if you want to put them on the scale like you're supposed to, if you really want to break it down like you're supposed to, you gotta look at it, and it goes right here. It goes to 2023. So yeah, we got that Tyson Fury and Ngannou, we got that. But we asking for that? No, we weren't. But we got it. We got to see it. We got to witness it. Right? That was in October 2023. You got this big. You had got this Day of Reckoning. Anthony Joshua and Wilder and Parker. We got that. Where them two, if they would have both won, then we would have got the AJ and Wilder. You can't blame Alex Sheik for not getting that. You know what I'm saying? Because Wilder didn't hold up to his end of the bargain. That's the facts. No feelings involved, but Wilder didn't hold up his bargain. So that's why we didn't get it. Because people still want to argue about it. And this is one of the things that Turki Alex Sheik can actually get credit for. But everybody that's all on Turki Alex Sheik nuts, they don't bring this up. I'm like, dang, you don't even know how to represent the man. If you're gonna be a sugar baby, then represent it right. Listen, he set it up to go down that after all of this time, we was gonna get AJ versus Wilder. And guess what happened? Wilder wet the bed against Joseph Parker, somebody who AJ had already did his thing. Then they tried not to give AJ no credit for Otto Wilding, and he dispatched that man. So I was like, dang, I don't even know what to think as a fan, because I saw AJ go out and do what he was supposed to do. I seen Wilder shit the bed, and everybody came back talking about, why you just shitting on Wilder? Why y'all hating on Wilder? I'm like, are we even boxing fans? I don't think we are. But you can't blame Sheik, because he set it up to where if he would have did his business, boom, we would have got that. We would have finally got that AJ and Wilder. Now you got to think this is pre-bang now. This is pre-bang, but let's continue. This is pre-bang. This is talking about some of the other things, right? Then you got Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou on March 8th. Earlier, we finally got the Fury and Usyk. Now we got this. This is the big one. Beterbiev and Bivol. This is the big one coming up. And I would say that is the most meaningful fight in boxing right now, because that's gonna decide undisputed at 175. So Turkey Sheik did some things, and he set up some things. Now, what happened and people losing, and this and this and that, and the matchups, can't blame him. But he has some things in his favor. He got a little bit of cachet. I'm a little leery of this thing, because I'm already a little leery, just like I was when it came down to Subriel Matias signing up with Matchroom. I'm a little leery about this whole bag. Like, he just got a bag and he gonna pay for this and he gonna do that, because a lot of people are gonna be dismissing and putting a lot of things off on Sheik and the fact that he got a bag, and we're gonna believe. And people are going to be getting credit for everything leading up to it. Because remember, he would have been here gotten credit for Bivol and Beterbiev, but unbeknownst to everybody, somebody got hurt and had to pull out. He would have been got credit for the Zoo and Fundora, but somebody, I think it was Zoo and Ortiz, but somebody, was healing and it wasn't making time. So, yes, attempting to put it together, yeah, I mean, you can, because we see the direction. But we can't count our chickens before they hatch, right? That's what I be saying. Don't count our chickens before we hatch. So we really evaluate whether or not, is he a glorified sugar daddy, or is there some substance to what he's doing? I just shown us some substance to what he's doing. But he also is a scapegoat right now. And I said this a while ago. I said this, it's been a minute ago. I said that it was going to get real crazy, because a lot of these fighters was getting ready to get exposed. I said, because if money was the thing, and now you got this bag, this big bag that you got access to, that you can call on, I said a lot of boxers about to get exposed. This whole side of the street thing really did, because when all them guys got on that banner, to where you can see that banner up on, you can see it on Matchroom events, you can see it on Top Rank events. You see him, like, when he got his flag, and he's, putting up his set on all these places. You can see that he got influence, he got power. So if you affiliated, it's like, okay, street shouldn't matter, the bag shouldn't matter. But is it equating us to actually getting the big fights? Not just fights that we don't mind seeing, but big fights. The fights that we want. I think I went over this yesterday. The difference between, but he got some credibility, man. I look at him a little bit more. He's a little bit more of a what do you say? Boy, it look like Fresh Montana. But it's some validity to what he's actually doing. He's substantial, man. I look at him as more of the money back. I want to see if he's gonna, I want to know about the testing and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because if more and more fights gonna be going on over there, I kind of want to know what's happening, man. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to be more involved. I want to know that, okay, cool. I want to know, like, positive results, negative results. Like, that money can be used more than just paying fighters just a whole bunch of money. It can be used to make sure that the officiating is great. You know what I'm saying? Checks and balances on that. It could be used to make sure the PEDs are minimized. Things like that. It's not just this, like the sugar babies. The sugar babies are using, Sugar Al Sheik. They using him like a blank check. Like you go to a restaurant, like how you be on a company joint, you go to a company luncheon or something, and you don't realize it, but they say, hey, meet us at this restaurant or whatever, we're gonna eat there. Let's go to the Longhorn, and you meet up or whatever, and you eating, and you like, okay, cool, it's all good. And then they like, oh yeah, man, it's gonna be on the company tab. You know what I'm saying? So people get the eyes get bigger than their stomach. They get the saying and doing all this, and next thing you know, they call to get up on that big bright stage, or it's time for that big bright fight, and they're like, I ain't that hungry no more. I think I'll go give me an hors d'oeuvre this time. I thought, but they like, man, I thought you wanted this big porterhouse. So right now, people are just using the name. The sugar babies are using Turkish Sheik like a sugar daddy. When I think there's more creative ways to pull on them purse strings, if you ask me. I think we can get a little bit more creative in what we want, and we gotta hold him to the same standard, because I hear people watch a whole top rank card from top to bottom, almost like that most recent card where they had a couple flashes, but a lot of people was like, oh man, that card, I didn't watch it or whatever, but they criticize that. We gotta hold it to the same standard when it comes down to the cards. Now I think that witnessing talent and the names being showcased, yes, you can know pretty much half of them. You might not know anybody, and that's if you know all of them, because a lot of hardcore is going to know them, but a lot of casuals not, because a lot of these guys are not really household names. And even if you look at the Baturbiev and Bivol, if you want to keep in mind what I'm still always about and what I've been trying to keep a stake in the ground is American boxing. Like once we start getting that move, once we start allowing that to be moved and allowing the power and what American boxing really stand for and who's really real, once we start devaluing and undervaluing what we have in American boxing, it's the beginning of the end. And I'm sad to say it, but I think we right at the tip of the iceberg, my friends. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? We're just gonna chop it up. I want to know, like, because all I hear a lot of people talking about the man, like they know the man, like they know what he about, like they know what his purpose is, and like they are close with him. I'm like, do you know him? Can we ask him this? Can we ask him that? Like I see some positive things, but I'm not naive. And I said I'm gonna behave tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna behave tonight. Cause I'm getting kind of surprised, man. That a lot of people aren't seeing what I'm seeing, man. I'm seeing that. Don't say it wasn't a track record of it, man. Because Eddie, man, everybody was thinking, man, and he can promote. He can promote. Remember, I always say that Eddie is the happy medium from the extreme unseen in some promoter, and you don't know what you want to get. Always in front of the camera, always in the videos. I always said that Eddie was the happy medium, and Eddie can be objective. Eddie knows how to promote this guy. Stop, make a complete 90-degree turn, get dead set on promoting this guy, and be able to turn up all the way on that guy and be subjective on that person, but objective in getting all the answers out. But Eddie has been very clever at using his experiences that he learned from the game and being around it to be able to acquire talent and then take them across the pond and use them in that manner. I think Turkey he's the money bag that can acquire and pay even more for better talent and still take them across the pond. That's my only thing. I'm like, I hope we seeing what's actually going on, man. In that regards, that we don't get distracted by the fact that, somebody came along with that caddy and they rolled up and they flashed a little bit of money and said, hey, you know what I'm saying, hop in. And we were just like, oh, okay. And we just ran around to the passenger side, and some of us even hopped in the back. Shit, some of us is holding on to the tailgate. Some of us is holding on to the back of the tailgate with some roller skates. They just with it, you know what I'm saying? They just ready to roll. I'm like, I'm a little skeptical. I'm just like a lot of these boxers who had to win me over time, just by what they were doing and all that. I was supporting them and all that, but like campaigning and stamping and pushing it to the fullest, it's like I need to see a couple more results, man. Be like that with everything else, right? It's food for thought. Is he more than just a money bag? I mean, that's all the references I'll be hearing. Oh, Turkey can make this happen. Turkey can make that happen. I'm like, can we see him make it happen first? I mean, I'm talking about some things that are in our best interest. Can we see it? If you don't believe in marination, I mean, and Shakur was a free agent and he was with Eddie, I mean, why didn't we get this? If money ain't a thing. If money ain't a thing, why we ain't get this? But I be having to remind and let people know, because some of the people that have, the most influence, man, they either play too many politics or they don't have American boxing. They don't have American boxing on their mind. Like, they don't care. Like, whatever's thriving around, somebody lacing up a pair of gloves, they're like the biggest, even if it's the craziest, silliest, wackiest, like ghettoest, it don't matter. They're going to report on it and make a story. So they feel like they can survive in that sense. But if we're going to be objective, since we love the sport so much, we love to sit around and talk and argue about it and go back and forth about it, we do got to have its vested interest in mind, right? Which is the longevity of what? American boxing. That's what I think a lot of people don't really understand. With me, when I look at it with a critical eye, it's like, yeah, you can get people to go overseas. I'm like, but don't you know that's one of the stars that should have been given another person over here an opportunity? Yeah, you can go abroad. Yeah, you can take one in here. But like when it's time to get the big fights, and people were saying for the longest time that all it was money. That's all it was money. It was just a matter of money, because enough money was this. And then we see, this big old, what you want to call it? Like a multi-track, cross-platform type deal where it don't matter who you with. We got enough money to make it happen, because we all know that a lot of the times money was the biggest thing. One person didn't want to sacrifice their star or their leverage with having belts to give them up to somebody who didn't have a big enough fan base. There's a reason why certain people at the end of the night gonna get a nod, even if the fight was 50-50, even if it was very close, even if the one that you didn't think was gonna win had edged it out. We've seen a case like that here recently, I believe. Maybe with Bokachek. Definitely with Dubois. Definitely with Ngannou and Fury. We seen that. We seen that in real time. To where if it was set up in the cards and that money, because we see it with Nello. We see it with Nello all the time. That money is worth more around his belt, around his waist. That belt is worth more around his waist than anybody that he's pretty much going to face. Because either A, they're not going to have, they might have the skill set, but they might not be able to sell out a coliseum at the local community college. It is what it is. So we know that it plays a part. I try to get away from it, but it's infused in it, man. You can't really get around it. Salute, Smoke. What's going on, man? He says salute, my guy. Just trying to do a fair assessment on Sheik, man. Just really wanted to see if Sheik is he really just, is Sheik really just a sugar daddy? Or is it more than Sheik than just a bag? Like, can he fix more than just inflating boxers' pockets? Or can he get us the big fights? The fights that we want? Not the fights that we don't mind seeing. I've been educated here recently. And all I did was sit back and look at it. But I was just doing a little assessment on Sheik, man. You know, I like a lot of the things. Like the Bivol Beterbiev card, a lot of talent. It's gonna create a lot, it's gonna create a big buzz, you know what I'm saying? But I'm at the point where I'm like, you pretty much know who's gonna win. I mean, that line or that logic, when people want to discount cards over here, it's like, oh man, look, they put up all A sides. You know, that's what they say about some of the cards on PBC. That's what they said about some of the cards on Top Rank. Matchroom, man, Matchroom put on the dude. Hold on, let me be correct. I'm not gonna say which platform. How about that? I'm just gonna say that they put on an event where a gentleman fought, and the dude been on probation. He was out on bail, and he's been on probation since like 2018. He's pretty much out on bail, and he got in the ring after he hadn't fought in 6 years. He made it on TV. So if we hold them to the scale, I mean, yeah, we getting a level of talent. Yes, you're getting a whole bunch of fights. Yes, all of the visuals and all of that is high level. It has class, it has elegance, it has style. You know what I'm saying? All of that's good. As far as the hardcore fan, man, they want the fights. They bought that action, boss. So that's what we really gauging. Like, we're putting them up on the scale just like we do PBC and their events, you know, just like we do everybody else. We're just putting them up on that scale and seeing, you know, if it's wearing out. So I mean, a lot of people talk about it. They're assuming things, getting credit for things that haven't happened. Let's just be real about what's actually happening. You know, and I'm seeing some fights coming up. Like, everybody, like, nobody was really happy about the Shakur thing in Cordina. They happy that he, you know, can get on a pay-per-view card, but the fight itself, like the level of competition, you know, his OnlyFans are making excuses like, oh, well, yeah, he's building his brand, or he's just taking off in his own lane, where, you know, the pressure was on for Tank to make the biggest fights. Well, it look like that decision has been made. So did that compliment, is that a comp, like, to get one of the people that a lot of people consider pound for pound, to get him over there on the card? Yeah, it's gonna get him exposure, but then we gotta also think who is Beterbiev and Bivol and where they're from. Where are they from? You know, and even though Bivol actually beat Canelo, I see where it really didn't do anything. It looked like it really didn't do anything for him. You know, I mean, a lot of people recognize him as, you know, being, you know, one of them guys. But what did it do? But we'll see, man. The verdict is out. The jury is out. I meant to say the jury is out. And we will see. But I figure since nobody wanted to jump on, this one would be nice and neat, man. But I always make myself available. I always make myself available for people who, you know, might have something, you know, that they might want to say. You know, well, we, you know, might have a bone to pick. Might want to express themselves. But, you know, I'm working with Sheik, man. I'm trying to understand the game. I'm trying to be positive about it, man. I'm just like, man, I'm just one of them people to where it's like, you tell me this is what we getting and this is where we're going, I'm gonna be judging it based on, you said we were going to Disney World, not Six Flags. I can't complain, but you said we was going to Disney World, not Six Flags. That's how we got to judge everything. We're getting there. It's progress. I don't feel as bad. I'm just critical, man, because I already know, man. I've seen and heard some things, read some things, and I'm just like, with the way boxing is, I can see it. I can see it. Like if it ain't done right, it could be grand opening, grand closing. So I'm still, you know, I'm still gathering evidence, man. I'm still looking at it objectively. You know, I'm appreciative of what has been given, but I'm also honest in my assessment in what we've been getting. You dig? But that's it, man. Thanks for everybody who came out and supported. If you see the video, you look at it on the playback, and you got some feedback, talk to me. I'll talk back. This is Fruits and Veggies, not that Reggie. I try to have fact-based content. You know, it's very hard to actually put out your original thoughts without somebody even saying, oh, you got this from me or you stole it from me. That's why I try to use sources outside of myself to back what I've already been thinking and make my argument or present my information and how I look at everything, man. I think that a lot of people are just caught up. A lot of people are just frustrated, you know, at the wrong things. They come online and get their anger and frustration out online, and they want to talk boxing, but they can't apply it. You know what I'm saying? They frustrated with life. And I try to just reel them back in and say, look, man, we talking about boxing, man. Something that should be positive, man. That's all I do. I keep putting stakes in the ground, give you a pulse of boxing whenever I can, and just call it like I see it. That's it. But I appreciate y'all. Let me see. Check this out. Let me know what you think, though. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.